I'm going to do this video using this screen because it is 2 a.m. in the morning, but I just wanted to fill you in on another important thing that I think is very important that you are aware of in the simulation, which is that obviously we know that for most chosen ones or those of us that are awakening, that it is definitely a situation where obviously we're being monitored, we're being observed, right? So a lot of times the Sims will, um, you know, again, they will talk about us as if they know this and they know that. And I have already spoken about how they can rewind things that you've done in their minds, depending on the degree of your telepathy. Possibly they can see your memories, not your memories, but your actual visualizations and all this. Some of these things have been my situation. And what I realized, and I know this is kind of like we know some details about this, like, we've heard in the news, like if you have a laptop or if you have a tablet, or that your phone monitors you because it has a camera and all of this and all of that, whatever. Imagine that obviously for example, I work in the evenings, right? So I work with people all the way across the world, okay? And in theory, there's no camera or anything like this. Now, mind you, again, this is why when people are being targeted and they're like, no, it's the government, they are all Sims. It's not one person who can do this. They all can do this because we are outnumbered. They are the Sims. This is like their reality. So, I'm doing the lesson, and honestly, like normally, um, I take a nap before I have to do the class because I don't want to be like sleepy. But even when I'm falling asleep, I've been teaching English for like many years. I've been teaching English in person, whatever. And I do tend to sometimes fall asleep when I'm teaching and I'll get a little groggy, but I keep it going. I must admit, like, I'm very good at keeping it going and asking the questions. So no one can really tell if I'm falling asleep or not per se, depending, right? But this evening, especially, I really maintained the conversation and the composure. And unless you were actually like sitting next to me or observing me with something, you would never know that I was like, drowsy or falling asleep. I actually recorded the conversation and everything, right? So, what does the sim try to do? She tries to, like, during parts of the conversation, purposefully, like, stall the response, like, so that there can be like an empty pause, which would normally make someone who's already drowsy like kind of like doze out and fall asleep, right? But each time it was happening, like I kept catching on. I'm like, oh, are you looking for the word? Are you? And then she would like try to, keep the conversation going because she saw like I wasn't that sleepy. But then, like towards the end, like she really said like some outrageous comment, and I just kind of like overrid it, and I just continue like asking like normal comments. But it was very interesting because I know that when I started working this job, I noticed like the Sims didn't like that I was like taking a nap in the evening, which obviously I was taking a nap in the evening because I don't want to be drowsy when I'm working, right? So obviously, little by little, you're seeing like obviously all of the different shenanigans. Everything is exposing itself. Everyone's being exposed. You're seeing who everyone is because this specific person, I'm sorry, I had done a lot of sessions with her before, and she'd never tried that before because I was never like drowsy or sleepy. So in the end, yes, I was drowsy, but the drowsiness allowed me to kind of also, catch them in their shenanigans. And I actually recorded it. Like I said, I have receipts upon receipts upon receipts. What is the main idea? Main idea is this, that when they tell you all of these things about your television, your TV, and all of these things being able to record you and watch you, they have already like come out in the news with it, but these kind of things have probably been happening all along. Um, and, furthermore, goes to show you that this world is BS in many ways when they want you to, um, you know, do all of these kind of security measures to go into your accounts and to get in this. Like, I have like definite, sensations that many times, like in my email, that there have been emails that for some reason have been delayed and then they pop up later. And strange things like that. Like so much of what we really um, are led to believe is like not possible is really possible because the simulation is just not, it's not what we think it is, right? So just keep that in mind, especially when you think about all these jobs of people working in security, people working in law enforcement, like I've said before, people working pretending like they're doing all of these kind of measures to know who's who. Just think about it this. Think of it from an even like more like darker perspective. Think of how many people are doing like crazy stuff in their homes, evil stuff in their homes, and they're not being arrested or getting caught, and it's being permitted and allowed. People getting harmed, people getting hurt, domestic violence situation, child abuse situations, and all of these kind of things happening in their homes, and nothing's being done about it because that's what the enemy probably wants. Yet all of these things are already known, right? So when they say like, "Oh, we don't know why this would have, why this person did this, or there was no sign, or we didn't, nobody knew about this person being like this," and I'm not only talking about um, like from a like law enforcement perspective, like when I gave examples, like they pretend like they don't know where certain terrorists are and all this, and they allow things to happen, and then pretend like they don't know where this person is, or et cetera, et cetera. No, even from just the basic principle of like all the Sims can tune in, right? Just think about that. Like all of them can see what's happening, and they just sit there and pretend like they don't know what's happening in each person's life. That's, I guess, a chosen one or something like that. And this is why I say that, like, I mean, I give the benefit of the doubt that many of them are good, but that whole concept that these individuals can see everything and they just always know too much, and imagine you marry one of these people or your children marry one of these people. You know what I mean? It's not to say that they're bad people, but it's just that concept that you're living with someone that is really knowing like way more than is like, I don't know, like that would make you feel comfortable, and they have to sit there and pretend like they're not. So something about that is just like so creepy to me. I don't even care because like I said, I could be like without makeup, however I am. I'm over it because obviously this has just probably been what they've been doing since we were born, just like in the movie The Truman Show. But yeah, just it's always good every now and then to keep catching them in their nonsense because it further reaffirms the idea of what this world really is, further reaffirms everything that Jesus taught us that this world is and why it's based on consciousness, and that in actuality, that means that our consciousness is really what is the most important thing, and that, whatever we put our minds to, we can do and we can shift and all of these kind of things. But yeah, I just wanted to like really quickly do this video. Again, like I said, I'm not in the physical condition to like show my face on camera, but really wanted to put that out there. So I mean, I don't know. It's up to you guys if you want to take this video as like cover all the cameras on your tablets, cover all the cameras on your phones and all of this. You can do that. It doesn't matter because obviously mm, this world is a simulation and they're seeing things anyways. They're rewinding things anyways in their minds and seeing everything you've done. So just something to think about just as a conceptual idea. And yeah, nothing else I wanted to say. So see you guys next time.